Everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 4, and this is another book. The only intention of doing questions and solutions from different books from different authors is so that students can understand a specific topic completely and comprehensively. We have solved these questions from 2 to 3 different books and different authors. And you have seen that overall methodology in general is same. Just the way of describing transactions is different. We can use foreign authors or we can use local authors. The language may be different, way of expressing the transaction can be different, but overall scenario and procedure is same. You can see that we have changed the author, but view is clear that transactions are almost similar, which we were used to see from the book of other authors. Here there are transactions and we are needed to convert these transactions into required our target. All right, so these are the transactions which normally be given by any question or in any book, and we are responsible and we are as an accountant will convert these transactions into usable information. You can see that transactions are given in raw, rough, and simple English language. An organization, when providing information to the accountant, that language would be raw, that language will be rough, that language will be very simple. So in the similar manner, our organization has provided us information of transaction, and this information is just an English language. They want an accountant to convert this simple data or raw data into usable information. How this can be converted? There are 2 steps. First of which is we will generalize them. What word I am using? Generalize. Journal. Journal. We are going to generalize it, and those journal entries would be converted into cash book. Here I am willing to show you our procedure of doing our job. This is half part of the question. You have seen we have divided the scenario into 2 parts. Our solution would be divided into 2 parts. Left side is for journal. We have fixed it. What we will do, we will take information from this question behind, and we will convert that information or information of transaction into journal entries, and then these journal entries will be posted in cash book. Cash book is basically a source where you can combine several ledgers at the same time, but obviously specific names and specific type of ledger can be combined. Under cash book there are maximum 3 ledgers, and the name of ledgers are also fixed: discount, cash, and bank. Discount, cash, and bank. These are 3 ledgers which would be combined in cash book, and you can see there are 2 sides. One side is debit, other side is credit, and on credit side you do have discount, cash, and bank. These are 3 ledgers which we will combine. When every column, that means discount, cash, and bank, every column will be used to create a cash book, then it would be called triple column cash book. Sometimes it happens in whole question there is no entry regarding discount. So what you will do, you will fill only 2 columns: cash and bank on debit side, cash and bank on credit side. It means you are using 2 columns. It would be called double column cash book. And sometimes you will see no banking transaction is present in your account, so no amount would be put or posted on debit side of bank, no amount would be posted on credit side, with which you will be using only one column, and that is cash column. So it would be called single column cash book. And there is second option, no entry regarding discount or cash is present in question. All entries are associated with bank. There you will fill only bank column debit side and bank column credit side. It would also be called single column cash book. Okay, what steps we have already decided. Here are raw data transaction in simple language. We will pick these transaction and we'll convert into journal over here, and then these journal entries would be posted in cash book. It may be possible all columns will be used, it may be possible one or two column will be used accordingly. That is why we haven't mentioned over here that it's double column, single column or three column cash book. We have made a format where all three columns are available, and we will post entries according to our journal entries, and we will make our journal entries according to our transaction given in the question. All right, hopefully you have understood what our target is for today, and we will start our working from transactions. In first line, normally it is just an introduction of firm, introduction of time, or introduction of our requirement, and we can see it has been said that we are needed to make three column cash book. What does that mean? It means our cash book will contain entries regarding discount, entries regarding cash, entries regarding related to bank as well. It means all three columns will be filled. All right, and now we are going to start our question. We will be starting from first. All these transactions are related with one single month, and that is April. And 1st April is saying what? We will fill the date first. Here is date column of journal. There you will write your date 1. And now come to the point. First entry is saying cash in hand. That means you have cash. Cash is not going out, cash is not coming in. You are not paying this cash to anyone. You are not receiving cash to anyone. Cash in hand is your asset. It is in favorable position. And when cash in hand as an asset is in favorable position, it should be written on debit side. So you will mention cash on debit side. As earlier it has been mentioned that cash is not going out, you are not paying cash, you are not receiving this cash, it is just cash in hand. So what you will do, there is no other reference except to write a word balance over here, which will show that amount is not under any transaction, it is just cash in hand. Now let's see how much amount of cash in hand we do have. It is 4,000, first entry. So you will be needed to write 4,000 on debit side, and same amount you will be writing on credit side. In this way, half entry of first is completed. As I can see, there is something else, and that something is overdraft with the bank. Okay, since first entry is having two different aspects, so what we will do, we will divide it into two parts. First entry we can consider A, and now we'll be doing first entry but B part. All right, B part is saying we have overdrawn balance, overdraft balance, yeah, overdrawn balance at bank. Now for this we will have to understand what is overdraft. At this point, suppose you have your bank account and your bank balance is, let's say, 1000 rupees. What I had said, you have your bank account and you have balance at your bank account which is 1000. Okay, and now you are in need to pay someone through check which an amount which is more than 1000 rupees. You have bank balance of 1000 and you want to issue a check which is having an amount more than 1000. Suppose that amount is 1200. 1100 is also okay, but 1200. So you want to issue a check of rupees 1200 while your bank balance is just 1000 rupees. So what you will do, as you will issue check, the person to whom you will issue check, he will present this check, and he would be willing to withdraw amount from the bank, but bank will dishonor this check. Bank will return this check. Why? Because of insufficient funds present in your bank account. Your amount present in bank was 1000 and you have issued a check of rupees 1200. So what will happen? You will be a sort of financial insult, it should be said. That is why we are using the word dishonor. Against your honor, the check would be dishonored, and the person to whom you have issued this check will be returned without any amount. Here, the relationship of you as a customer and the banker will start. And let's say if you know that amount present in bank account is less than the amount you need, you will ask your bank manager to kindly provide additional amount as well. Check would be written for 1200 while actual amount present in the bank account is just 1000 rupees. You will request your banker to pay 1200 rupees to your customer, and you will say that I will return this amount within shorter period of time. So now you can see that 200 for you is just a loan, but for a very shorter period of time. You have drawn amount from the bank which is over and above of that which actually amount is present in your bank account. What you have done, you have drawn amount more than the amount present in your bank balance, in your bank account. This is called a short term loan, and that short term loan is called overdrawn. When you have balance which is less than the amount which is written on check, so it means minus 200, that means it's your balance which is in negative. You have overdrawn, you have drawn amount more than the amount which was present on your in your bank account. It is called overdrawn, so it would be called overdrawn balance. Now overdrawn balance, what we have said, it's a sort of loan. When we are considering it is a loan, loans are liabilities. Liabilities should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention your bank account on credit side. Though bank account is your asset should be written on debit side, but what we have said, we have drawn amount more than the amount present in your bank account. It would be considered as a short term loan. Loans are liabilities. Liabilities should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention name of bank on credit side. But since it has been said it's just a balance, amount right now is not going out, or in particular date, that is one on first of this month, amount was not going out, not you were depositing the amount, it was just the balance which you have, which you had started with the month. And you are going to write the word balance over here just for the reference. Now let's see how much overdrawn balance is, and that is 6000 mentioned over here. So you are going to write 6000 on your debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on your credit side. In this way you have your first entry completed. Cash in hand, asset, and overdrawn bank balance is liability. Now let's see what is next for us. One is completed, so we are going to do our second entry. What second entry is saying? Paid salaries and wages 1200 and rent by check 400. Okay, there are two parts of this entry again. So what we will do, we can divide it to two parts. First entry we may call it as 2A, and then we will see what second entry is saying. 2A is saying paid salaries and wages. Just focus on half part of this transaction, paid salaries and wages. Since you are paying, it means cash is going out. Cash is going out, due to which your cash in hand would be decreased. Cash in hand is your asset, asset is decreased, decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention cash on credit side. For what purpose you have paid this cash? As it is mentioned in the question, it is salaries and wages. As you are paying, then it means your salaries and wages are expenses should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention salaries on debit side. You may write wages as well. Salaries and wages are paid, it's an expense, expenses should be mentioned on debit side, so you have mentioned name of salaries on debit side. Now see how much salaries you have paid, that is 1200, so you will mention 1200 on debit side, and same amount you are going to write on your credit side. All right, this part of the transaction has been completed. Okay, close it. Now we will do 2b entry, which is second part of the question, second part of transaction. 2b is saying that rent is being paid by check. Rent is paid by check. When you will pay your rent by check, it means you will be issuing a check. When you issue the check to the person to whom you are paying the rent, he will go to your bank account, will present that check, and with which he will withdraw amount from your bank account. Amount present in bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of bank on credit side. All right. And then why you have issued this check? You were paying rent. As it's a payment, so rent is an expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side. So you will name rent on your debit side. Now let's see what was the amount of rent, and that is 400. So you are going to write 400 on debit side, and same amount you will be posting on credit side. This way 2b is completed. Second entry was having, this is your second entry, and it was having two parts, and both parts you have generalized paid salaries and rent by check. Now you are at entry number 5. What is saying? Cash sales. Cash sales, I asked the same question in the class, though it's funny, and I have asked what is cash sales. Somebody have said when you are selling your cash. No, it's not like that. You are selling your goods and receiving cash immediately. It's cash transaction. You are selling your goods and you are receiving cash immediately. When you are selling goods, what will happen? Selling means you are selling your goods, merchandises or commodities. So goods are going out, goods are your near asset, asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you were supposed to write goods over here. But in accounting, we do not write goods, we write working in place of goods. What working we are doing? We are selling, so you will mention sales over here. Goods we have written just for the reference to understand what is going out. This was just a reference, you may erase it. So we have sold goods, sale is credit, and next is what? After selling goods, what you have received? Cash. It means your cash in hand is increasing. Increase in cash in hand means increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited, so you will mention name of cash on debit side. And what was its date? After 2 it was 5, so you will mention 5 over here. Let's see, 5 is completed or something else is also present. Okay, it has been completed. Fifth entry is okay. Now we are on sixth entry, which is saying paid into the bank. Fifth entry we haven't mentioned the amount, and amount is 5,000. So you will be writing 5,000. I have just seen amount was not written over there. 5,000 on debit side, and you will be writing 5,000 on credit side. Now sixth entry is saying that you have paid amount into the bank. Obviously bank is associated directly with the amount, with rupees, though cash is not mentioned over here, but it should be understood that if you are paying something into the bank, that something is cash. Cash is going out from you as you are paying that amount into the bank. It means cash in hand is decreasing, means asset is decreasing. Asset decreased if, that should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention cash on credit side. Where this cash is going out, you are paying this cash into the bank. Paid cash into the bank means amount present in your bank account would be increased. Bank account is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention name of bank on debit side. Sixth entry's amount is 2,000, so you will be writing 2,000 over here, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. This way your entry number 6 is completed, and now we are up to entry number 8. Sold investment having face value 2,000 at rupees 4,000 and deposited the amount into the bank. Okay जी, आपको actually what you will have to observe is you have sold your investment. One thing first, so you are losing your investment. Investment is going out where you have sold it. Actual value or face value was 2000, but you have sold that investment in profit, and you have sold for 4000 rupees and deposited the amount into the bank. This is very important factor, deposited the amount into the bank. In this whole transaction, you have sold your investment and received the amount and immediately deposited into the bank. Overall scenario, when you will see what happened at the end, you have deposited amount into the bank. This means amount present in your bank account has been increased. Your bank account is asset is increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will write bank on debit side. All right, how you have received this amount? You have sold your investment. Investments are your assets. When you will sell your asset would be decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side, so you will mention your asset mean investment on credit side. How much amount you have received? That is 4000. It means there is an increase in bank account by 4000, and same amount you will be posting on your credit side. All right, and you may say if the value of that investment was 2000. There is another way to solve it. You may write investment as 2000 because actual amount was 2000. Though since we are related with bank account, that procedure has been completed. As in cash book, only bank was related, so we have mentioned the accurate amount in front of bank, so there is no need for any extension. But just for an understanding, I would like to explain it. Amount of investment was 2000, while you are getting 4000 out of it. So what 2000 is, you are getting your capital profit. For the time being, just consider it that an asset of value 2000 when sold for 4000, it would be your profit. So you may mention profits are your income should be mentioned on credit side, so you will write profit over here. You may write this transaction like this, or you may write just bank to investment as well. Okay, so in this way your investment is going out for 2000 while you are getting 4000 out of it due to sale. It means 200 you are earning as your profit. Entry number we haven't mentioned. After sixth entry, it was entry number 8. So entry number 8 is completed, where there is an increase in your bank account. After 8 we have 12, and let's see what 12 is saying and what is in 12th entry. Received a check. First part of the transaction is saying receive a check from Kamal on account 290, allowed him discount. Okay, we are just receiving a check. This is very interesting to learn. When you will be receiving a check, normally it would come in your mind that check is associated with bank, but please keep it in mind, if you haven't deposited that check into the bank. Now you can see over here you have received allowed discount and bank is not mentioned over here. What does that mean? You haven't deposited that check into the amount, though check is directly associated with the bank. But if you haven't deposited the check into the bank, do not mention name of bank over here. You have just received the check. All right, when you are receiving check, it means check is coming in. Check is your near asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you were supposed to write check over here, but in accounting we do not write checks. We will consider it as cash, but temporarily. Why? Because check has not been deposited into the bank. You cannot write bank over here, you cannot write check over here. So for the time being you are writing check as your cash, while actually it's not cash. From whom you are receiving this check? The person name is Kamal. Kamal is a person who was your account receivable. You have received check from Kamal. Kamal was your account receivable, but yeah, now you have received the amount from him. No matter in shape of cash, no matter in shape of check, you have received amount from your account receivable Kamal. As you will receive the amount, he will not be your account receivable. No more account receivable. he would not be your asset now. No more asset, no more account receivable. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention name of Kamal on credit side as he is your account receivable. There might be a question in your mind, account receivables are an asset and we should write it on debit side. But as I have mentioned that we have received check, he is no more our account receivable, he is no more our asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you have written account receivable on credit side due to decrease in asset. Let's see how much amount of check that was. You can see that check is of 290 rupees. So what you will do, you will write 290 rupees in front of this, in front of cash. Okay. Now there is another thing mentioned over here is 290 and allowed. Please mark it. We have allowed discount. When we are allowing discount, it means it's an expense for you. You are receiving less amount. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention discount on debit side as it is discount allowed. All right. So you have mentioned discount on debit side, and what was the amount of discount? It is 40. So you will write 40 as discount. Now here you can see that entry is ended, but they haven't told how much amount would be written in front of Kamal. Kamal's amount is not mentioned. Here we will apply a very simple accounting principle. Amounts present on debit side are always equal to the amounts present on credit side. At debit side we have two amounts, 290. You will add second amount 40. It means total amount should be present as 330. So if amount for any transaction is not given, you can calculate by applying a simple rule. Debit and credit side would always be equal. So we have applied in the similar manner. Sum has been written on credit side. Both sides are now equal. It means entry number 12 we have completed. Now let's see what next entry is saying to us. After 12 we have 13. Let's put the date first. 13th entry date is very important because without it, it would be almost impossible to correct your cash book answers. Entry number 13, we are looking at withdraw from bank for office use. This is the entry. Withdraw amount from the bank for office use. When you are going to draw amount from your bank, it means amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Decrease in bank account means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you are needed to mention bank on credit side due to decrease in your asset. Why you are going to draw your amount from your bank? That is for office use. Here you can see for office use. Since you will be using this amount for office, right now you have just drawn. It means your cash is coming out of bank. Cash in hand is increasing. Increase in cash in hand means increase in asset. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention cash on debit side. How much amount of 13th entry? It is 500. So you will be writing 500 on debit side, and same amount you are supposed to write on credit side. Rules for journal entry we are following. 13th entry completed. Let's see what is next for us. This is 15. Let's put the date first. 15th entry, and what 15 is saying, purchase goods for cash. You are buying your goods for cash. When you are buying good, it means goods are coming in. Goods are your near asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side. So you were supposed to write goods over here. But we do not write goods in accounting. We write working in place of goods. What working we are doing? We are purchasing. So you will write name purchase over here. Goods were written just for the reference. It is now unnecessary to be written over here. You can erase it. You have purchased goods. That is why you have mentioned purchase. And how have you purchased it? For cash. You are buying goods. It means cash is going out and cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash in hand means decrease in asset, which should be credited. So you will mention cash over here. Cash is your asset and asset is decreasing. How much? 15th entry's amount, and that is 1000. So put 1000 on debit side of this journal entry and put the same 1000 on credit side as well. All right, 15th entry is completed. What is next for us? That is 17. Let's put the date first. 17 in the date column. 17 is saying issued a bearer check. Issued a bearer check in favor of Amir 1080 in full settlement of rupees 1200. Okay, what is bearer check? Bearer check means there is no name mentioned on the check. Whosoever will have that check can take cash from the bank. It's bearer check, and this check is issued in favor of Amir. Amir is the person to whom amount was payable. So instead of paying him, you have issued a check. So theory you have understood. We have issued a check. When you will issue a check, to whom the person to whom you will issue this check will go to your bank account, will present that check, will withdraw amount from your bank account. Bank account would be decreased. That means amount present in bank account would be decreased. Mean asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you are supposed to write bank on credit side. Though bank is your asset, but you are going to draw amount from your bank. This means your bank account would be decreased, asset decrease, and that is why you have mentioned bank on credit side. How this amount is being drawn from the bank? Because you have issued a bearer check. To whom you have issued this check? The person's name is Amir. Alright, come over here. Amir was the person to whom amount was payable. He was your account payable. Now you have paid, no matter in shape of cash or check, but you have paid. When you have paid to your account payable, it means he is no more your account payable. Account payables are liability, means no more your liability. Liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. So you would mention Amir on debit side, in spite of this that he was your account payable. What word I am using? Was. He was your account payable. Now after payment, he is no more your account payable. Liability decrease in liability on debit side. That is why you have written Amir on debit side. But what is another factor in it is in full settlement. This word is very important. In full settlement of rupees 1200. What does that mean? Total amount which was payable to Amir was 1200. So you will write 1200 over here. Okay. But the amount of check issued, this is our entry. Amount of check is what? 1080. So you will write the amount in front of bank. Why? The amount of check is 1080. It means amount drawn from the bank would be 1080. Now here we will apply a simple accounting principle. Debit and credit side should always be equal, but here it's not equal. So there will be a third understanding. Let me know, how is it possible that total amount payable was 1200 and instead of 1200 you have just paid 180. Here you will understand the meaning of full settlement. That means total amount which was required to be settled was 2000, but you are now agreed to decide, you are now agreed that amount would be 1080 instead of 1200. So if you are paying cash 1080 in place of 1200, who will decide it that you can pay less? The person to whom you are paying this amount, the account payable, he is the authority. He will decide that you can pay less. If he is permitting you and you are paying less, that means you are enjoying it. It is your income. And if he is permitting you to pay less, that means he is discounting the amount. This discount is just like your income. Income should be mentioned on credit side. So you will write discount on credit side, as this discount is your discount received. Mention it on credit side, and you are needed to write the word to as well, because there are two amounts on credit side. How much discount and discount is not mentioned. So what you will do, again you will apply the simple accounting principle. Debit and credit side should be equal. On debit side it's 1200, on credit side there is less amount 1080. How would you know how much amount we should write over here? What you will do, you will subtract credit side from debit side. On debit side it is 1200, you will subtract amount present on credit side, which is 1080. So here you have come to know that deficient amount was 120 and you will consider it as your discount. In this way entry number 17 is completed. Now let's see what next entry is available for us. That is entry number 18. Receive a check from Salim in full settlement of rupees 500. Again you are receiving a check in full settlement, and you just prepare your mind what we have done in full settlement of previous entry. Same we will be doing in next entry for full settlement. For the time being, just try to understand what we have done. Primarily we have received a check from Salim. When you will receive check, again make your mind, we haven't deposited into the bank. I'm showing you the transaction again. You have just received the check, and please read it again in full settlement, and nothing is mentioned else. That means check has not been deposited into the bank. You have just received. When you are receiving check, it means check is coming in. Check is your near asset. Asset is increasing, so you were supposed to write check over here. But as usual, we do not write check in accounting in place of check. You can consider it cash, but temporarily. Why? Check has not been deposited into the bank, so you have just supposed it like a cash, while in actual it's not cash, it's just check. From whom you have received this check? You can see that the check has been received from Salim. Salim is a person, the person from whom amount was receivable, and now you have received that amount. If you have received that amount, it means he is no more. Salim is no more your account receivable. He is no more your asset. Asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention Salim's name on credit side. In spite of this, that he was, what word I am using? He was your account receivable, and account receivables are assets. So why we are mentioning asset on credit side? Because after receiving amount, he is no more our asset, no more our account receivable. Asset decrease, decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have written name of Salim, name of account receivable on credit side. Let's check it out, the amount. It is, we haven't mentioned the date again, while we were supposed to write date on first step. 18th is the date. 18 should be written on date column. See what it is in the 18. The amount of check was 480. So what we will do, the amount 480 should be written in front of cash because it's the amount of check. Full settlement, that how much amount was receivable, this is called full settlement. 500 was the amount which was receivable from Salim. So you will write 500 over here. All right. Here you can see that entry has been ended, entry number 18. Nothing else has been mentioned. You can see that nothing is told over there, but we are not satisfied with the entry. Why? Because debit side is not equal to credit side. While what full settlement means, total amount receivable was 500, and while we have received only 480. Who will decide it that amount can be received less than the actual amount? It's now we, the person who is receiving the amount, he is the authority, and he will decide. When we will decide that we can receive less amount, it means we are permitting for the less amount. This is our expense. We are receiving less amount than actual. We are losing some amount. It's an expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side. Since we are permitting him to pay less, it is his benefit, our expense. This time there is discount, but discount is different. We are permitting, so this would be called discount allowed. Discount allowed is an expense. That is why we have mentioned on debit side. The second factor is amount is not mentioned over here. Here you will apply the simple accounting principle. Credit side should be equal to the debit side. on debit side amount is less. How would we know how much amount is less? What you will do, you will subtract amount of debit from credit side. Amount on credit side is 500. You will subtract amount on debit side, which is 480. Here we have got the amount. I think some here you can see that green is chosen. A wrong cell has been chosen for first amount. First amount was 500. Here is your amount, which is 20. Entry number 18 has been completed. So let's see what is next for us after 18. It's 20. Let's mention date first. It's very important. 20. What 20 is saying? Paid insurance premium in cash. Paid insurance premium in cash. When you are paying, it means cash is going out. That means cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention cash over here. Why you are paying this cash? We are doing entry number 20. Why we are paying cash? Here it has been mentioned that it's insurance premium. If you are paying, that means insurance premium is your expense. Expenses should be mentioned on debit side. So you will name insurance on debit side. Here your entry is completed. Let's see how much amount you are paying in entry number 20. It is 100. So you will be writing 100 on debit side, and same amount you will be writing on your credit side. This way entry number 20 is completed. Let's see what is next for us after 20. It's 25. So you will write 25 in date column. Okay, let's see what 25 is saying. Check received from Salim, endorsed to Kareem. Check received from Salim, endorsed to Kareem. So let's go the entry of Salim. Here it has been written Salim. We have received this check from Salim and we are endorsing this check to someone else. To whom we have endorsed this check? The person name is Kareem. We have endorsed check to Kareem. Please try to understand, when you have received this check, you have debited cash temporarily. Now the same check is going out, not to the bank, but you are endorsing this check to someone else. So what would happen? Your check is going out. Check is your near asset. Asset is going out, mean asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you were supposed to write check over here as check is going out. As you know that we do not write check in accounting. In place of check we write cash. So for the time being we have considered that check as cash. Cash is going out. Check is just for the reference. It is unnecessary to be written over here, but we have written it for a reference. You may write it or you may delete it, but here you can understand well that it wasn't the cash, it was check which we have received from Salim. So we easily understood that it wasn't the cash, it was check, and same check we are transferring to someone else. So this check is going out. To whom you are paying check? The person name is Kareem. Kareem was the person to whom amount was payable, and now you have paid, no matter in shape of cash or check, you have paid. It means he is no more your account payable after payment. He is no more your liability. Liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention Kareem on debit side in spite of this that he is your liability. Now we will use the word was. He was your liability because you have paid him. Liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be mentioned on debit side. That is why you are mentioning your account payable on debit side. Let's see how much amount, which entry we are. 25. So 25th amount is not mentioned. It is 520. I think you can see it, 520. This was full settlement, and you know that full settlement means how much total amount was payable to Kareem. It was 520. So you will write 520 over here. There is printing, cutting. I think I have taken picture, and due to some issue that 520 is not seen, but please consider it as 520 as I have my book as well. So 520 is the total amount which was payable to Kareem. But how much amount of check is? Since you know that the check is an old check and same check we are providing to Kareem. The amount of check was 480. So what you will do, you will write 480 over here on credit side. The transaction which was provided to us is ended and nothing else has been informed. You can see over there, check received from Slim. What you have done, you have endorsed to Kareem in full settlement bus. That entry has been ended, but still we are not satisfied. Why? Because debit and credit side are not equal. What we would understand from it, when you are paying cash, who will decide it that you can pay less? The person to whom you are paying the cash was Kareem. He is the authority. He will decide you. He is permitting you to pay less. It means you are in comfortable zone. You are receiving some benefit from the Kareem. It is your income. Income should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention a discount which was given by your creditor. Since you are receiving it, so you can just mention that it's discount received. Discount received is your income. Income should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have written discount on credit side. But how would we calculate the discount? As usual, we will apply simple accounting principle where debit side is always equal to credit side. On debit side we have 520. On credit side we have only 480. How would we calculate the deficient amount? We will subtract amount of credit from amount of debit. Amount of debit is 520. Now you will subtract amount of credit which is 480, and here you have the deficient amount which is 40 rupees. In this way you have completed your entry number 25. Now let's see what is next for us. It is 29. So you will post 29 over here. All right. Now see what 29 is saying. Check which was issued to Kareem dishonored. Here is Kareem. You have endorsed that check to Kareem. Actually, we haven't issued check to Kareem. We had endorsed, as it is mentioned, check received from Salim is endorsed to Kareem. The actual word was endorsed, not issue. The main theme of this transaction is that check has been dishonored. It's little lengthy to understand, but please make your mind, we will understand it. Let's start it. You have received a check at first step from Salim, and then you have endorsed the same check to whom? Kareem. Where Kareem will go? Kareem will present this check to bank, and from bank he would try to withdraw amount from the bank account of Salim, as you have received this check from Salim. But due to any reason, maybe date was wrong, maybe amount written in words is not matched with the amount written in numbers, we are just assuming due to any reason that check has been dishonored. Now again, please make your mind, you have received this check from Salim, you have endorsed this check to Kareem, and now Kareem had gone to the bank and bank had refused this payment. So what will happen? Back circle will start from bank. Kareem will come to us and will say the check which you have given to us, the check which you have given to us is dishonored. It means the amount which was paid to account payable has not been paid yet. He will again be your account payable. Again, account payable means your liability has been decreased, liability has been increased. Increase in liability should be mentioned on credit side. So you will mention Kareem's name on credit side as he is again your account payable. Understood? Listen again. Okay, what you have done, you have received a check from Salim, endorsed this check to Kareem. Kareem have gone to the bank, and there bank had refused this amount. Bank had refused to pay. What will happen? Kareem will come back to us and will say that the check has been dishonored. It means amount which was paid to Kareem has not been paid yet. Kareem is still your account payable. He is still your liability. Liability should be mentioned on credit side. That is why you have mentioned the name of Kareem on debit side. Okay. What would be the next step? When you will be informed by Kareem that check has been dishonored, where you will go? You will go back to Salim and will say the check which we have received from you is dishonored. It means amount we haven't received, amount is still receivable. So Salim will become again account receivable. That means your asset is increasing. Asset is increasing mean it should be mentioned on debit side. So you will mention Salim's name on debit side as he become your account receivable again. So this way entry number 29 is completed. What amount we will be writing? As you know, that amount of check would be same 480, and same check you have given amount was 480. So you will be writing 480 on debit side, and you are supposed to write same amount on credit side. This way entry number 29 is completed. Now let's see what is next for us, and that is entry number 30. It is saying deposited cash in excess of 490 into the bank. Deposited cash in excess of 490 into the bank. That means amount which is more than 490, put it into your bank account. First we will generalize and then we will understand what does that mean more than 490. Put the date first, it is 30. Actually what you are doing, you are putting some amount into your bank. Just consider it, we will discuss amount later on. When you are depositing some amount into your bank, it means amount present in your bank account would be increase. Increase in bank account mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be mentioned on debit side, so you will mention your name on debit side. Secondly, how amount is increasing in your bank account? Because you have deposited something, some amount. When you are depositing means your amount is going out, cash in hand is decreasing. Cash in hand is your asset, means asset is decreasing. Decrease in asset should be mentioned on credit side. So you will write cash on credit side. Cash is your asset and asset is decreasing. Now here is the question mark. How much amount you will write? As earlier it was mentioned, you are converting this ordinary transactional detail into usable information. What usable information that would be? You will create a cash book. We have cash on debit side. Cash on debit side means the amount you have received, it would be mentioned on debit side. Cash is coming in. Here cash is credit, which means cash is going out, payment. So what you will do, your cash debit is showing amount received, okay, and cash credit is showing amount which you have paid. Now make a comparison of both things. Debit side is showing amount received, credit side is showing amount paid. If you will subtract both amount, what you will get? When you will subtract cash paid from cash received, you will get what actually we have, cash in hand. How you will get cash in hand? When amount received, you will subtract amount paid from amount, one second, amount paid would be subtracted from amount received. You will get cash actually what is present in your hand. Here you can see what benefit or what usable information we will get. We have cash debit side. Here is your cash debit side. You will put all amounts which you have received and it has been written on debit side. Cash received, cash paid would be written over here. So total of debit side would be amount received, total of credit side would be amount paid. Difference is what amount is still present in your hand, cash in hand. Now here is our answer. He is saying deposited cash in excess of 490. How would we know how much amount is present more than 490? What we will do, we will calculate cash in hand. We'll see how much amount is still in our hand. If it is more than 490, okay, we can write it in English, more than 490 if we have, that amount would be posted, that amount would be deposited into the bank account. I'm just repeating once more. Debit side amount received, credit side amount paid. Debit minus credit means how much amount is still present. We will see how much cash in hand we have and we will compare with 490. If amount of cash in hand is more than 490, that amount which is more than 490 would be deposited in your bank account and you will be generalizing like this. But still we haven't completed cash debit side and cash credit side. Up till then we will mark it as question mark, and as we will complete our cash book where we will come to know the cash in hand, we will make comparison and then we will decide how much amount is needed to be deposited. We will write that amount over here with which our journal entries would be completed. Consider it as part A of this question. We have started from here. You can see that step by step how many entries we have completed. This way all the transactions present in the question 30 was the last entry. Okay, you can see over here we have started from first to last. All entries we have journalized. Consider it part A. Part A has been completed. Take a short break and come back. We will post all these entries present on journal side. We will post these entries into cash book, but in second part we will do it. Take a short break and come back soon. We are meeting again. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey guys, hopefully you are doing well. Welcome back. We have already completed journal entries. Here was our question, and from different transactions given in the question we have completed all the journal entries. The next target is to post these journal entries into the cash book. So at this point I would like to explain. We do have three columns over here: discount, cash at bank. We will go to our journal entry. We'll see if cash is present, and cash is present on debit side. What we will do, we will choose debit side of cash book and we'll write amount on cash. If cash is credit side, for example this cash is credit, what we will do, we will choose the credit side and we'll write amount in cash column right over here. The rule is very simple. If cash is debit, do debit in cash book. If cash is credit in journal, do credit in cash book. Debit do debit and credit do credit. Just keep it in mind. So here we are going to start posting our journal entries into cash book. We are on first entry. There are two elements, cash and balance. And here I would also like to explain, we will be focusing only on these three elements: discount, cash at bank. And if anything beyond this, or if there is anything present in the journal entry which is not cash, which is not bank, which is not discount, we will ignore it, we will leave it, we will skip it. For example, we have cash and balance. Balance is not what we are thinking of. We have decided that we will be seeking only discount, cash and bank. This is not cash, this is not bank, this is not discount. So what we will do, we will skip it. We will not bother anything which is not cash, discount and bank. All right. So in first entry we do have two elements, cash and balance, but we are associated with only cash, which is debited by 4,000. We will go to the debit side of cash and we'll write the amount which was, I think, 4,000. Okay, 4,000. After which you will be writing reference in particulars. What reference is? If you are debiting cash, you will see what is written on the opposite side. At opposite side you have seen its balance, so in particular you will write to balance as your reference. Now see the date, which is 1A, so you will be posting date 1A as well. In 1A there was only one element to be posted and we have posted, means entry number 1A is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Why we are marking? There are two fears. When you have these many entries, so many entries, though there is chance you can skip any of the entry. For example, you are doing 1A, you can jump to 2A and 1B can be skipped. If you will mark it, that means we are satisfied that entry has been posted. We will automatically be doing or posting next entry. So chances or fear of skipping one entry will be minimized. And there is another chance we can write single entry for two times. So doubling one entry or posting one entry for more than one time is also possible. But if you will mark any entry, it means this entry has already been completed and will not be posting it for second time. This way, fear of skipping and fear of entering one entry more than one time would be minimized. So it is just suggested for you as well. Whenever you are in exam and you are making cash book, mark when you have done. 1A is completed. Now we are at 1B, where there are two elements, but we are associated with only one element, that is bank, which is 6,000, and bank is credited. You will go to the credit side of the bank and will write 6,000 in bank column of credit side. Now you will see the reference. What is written on opposite side of the bank? That is balance. So you will write in particulars balance. But here kindly note, whatever you will write in particular column of the credit side, you will write an additional word at start, and that is by. So whatsoever you are mentioning over here as a reference, you will use by as coefficient, means starting word. Now let's see what was its date. It is 1B, so you will mention 1B in date column. As 1B was having two elements, but only one element was to be posted. We have posted 1B completed, so you can mark it as it has been done. Now we are at 2A. There are two elements, but only one element is related to cash book, which is cash. Cash is credited by 1200, so go to the credit side of cash and write 1200 in cash column. Now see the reference. What is written on opposite side of cash? That is salaries and wages. So you will mention here salaries and wages with an additional word of by. Now see the date, which is 2A. Write down 2A in the date column. 2A was having only one element to be posted, and that has been done. It means entry is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry is 2B, where there are two elements, but only one element to be posted in cash book, and that is bank. Bank is credited with 400. Go to the credit side of the bank and write down 400 in bank column. Here it's time to see the reference. What is written on the opposite side of bank? That is rent. So write down rent with an additional word of by. See the date, which is 2B. Write down 2B over here. 2B was having only one element to be posted. We have, and that means to be completed. Mark it as it has been done. And now entry number 5 we are up to. There are two elements over here, but only one element is related to cash book, that is cash, which is debited. Go to the debit side of the cash book and write 5,000 on debit side of cash column. And now see its reference. Its reference means what is written on the opposite side, that is sale. So you are going to write to sale in particulars. Now see the date, which is 5. Put 5 in date column. This way entry number 5 is completed, as there was only one thing to be posted and we have posted, means you can mark it as it has been done. Next entry is entry number 6. There are two elements and both elements are related with cash book, as these are cash and bank. So we will post both of the elements step by step. First we will see bank. Bank here is debit. We will, with 2000, we will go to the debit side of the bank and we'll write 2000 in bank column. Now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side? Cash. So you will write cash over here. Now see its date, which is 6. That is 6. Whenever I will come to transaction, you are needed to focus upon next entry of this last green. Last green was 5. Next entry is 6. What I am requesting to you, whenever I am coming back from cash book to your journal, Focus on next to last green entry. Last entry was 5, next to last green entry is 6, so you will automatically be understand what I am talking about. So we were at entry number 6 where bank was supposed to be debited by 2000, we had debited. Entry number 6 was having two elements, bank has already been posted, second element is cash which is credited by 2000. So you will go to the credit side of the cash, will write 2000 over here, and now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side of cash? That is bank. So you will be writing bank over here with an additional word of buy. Now see the date, which is 6. So mention date in date column. Entry number 6 was having two elements, bank and cash. Bank was debited by 2000 and cash was credited by 2000. Both entries has been posted. Both it means transaction has been completed. Entry number 6 completed. To mark it as it has been done, we are now at entry number 8 where there are three elements, bank, investment and profit, but we are associated with only one element, that is bank, which is debited by 4000. Go to the debit side of the bank and write 4000 over here. See its reference. There are two references, investment and profit, and both would be written. You will write first investment and then you write profit. You may write a single statement as well, but since there are two things, we have decided to write two things, so you will mention two things. Investment and profit is the reference. In front of investment it is written 2000 and profit which is written is also 2000. So ultimately what had happened, you have increased your bank account with 4000, and what is in front of bank, that is 4000. Just because we were having two references, so we have divided our 4000 amount into two parts, 2000 for investment, 2000 for profit. Now we will see the date of this inventory, this entry, and that date is 8. So for both references we will write 8. For first reference, that was investment. For second reference we will consider 8, and this way investment and profit both had been posted. Good. 10th entry was having only one element, which was 4000, now posted. Entry number 8 is completed, so mark it as it has been done. Now we are at entry number 12 where there are three elements, but only two elements are associated with cash book, so we will post them step by step. And here is first element, which is cash, and cash is debited by 290. We will go to the debit side of the cash and we'll write 290 over here. Now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side? Kamal. So you will be writing Kamal over here. All right, and now you will see the date, which is 12. Post 12 in date column. Excuse me, 12. 12 date was having two elements, cash and discount. Cash is already been posted, discount is being debited. Now here please give your attention, for both cash and discount there is only one reference and date is same. So you will choose the same row where you have written cash. You can write discount as well because the reference is same. Discount is being debited 40, so you will go to the debit side of the discount and will write 40. You may write 40 in the next line, and for that you will have to repeat Kamal over here and you will have to repeat 12 over here. But since reference of 290 and reference of 40 is same, that is Kamal, so you may choose the same row and you may write it in the same place. Why? Because date and reference is same. Entry number 12 was having two elements, cash and discount, and both have been posted. It means entry number 12 is completed. Mark it as it has been done. Next entry we are with is 13th entry where there are two elements. Both elements are associated with the cash book, yani cash and bank. So we will post both elements step by step. First step is to see cash, which is debited by 500. Go to the debit side of the cash and write 500 in cash column. And now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side of cash? That is bank. So you will be writing to bank over here. Now see the date, which is 13. So post your date as 13 in date column. 13 entry was having two element, cash is posted. Now bank is credited by 500. So you will go to the credit side of the bank and will write 500 over here in bank column. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of bank? It is cash. So you will mention buy cash in particular column. Now see the date, which is 13. Post 13 in the date column. 13th entry was having two elements, cash debit, bank credit 500. So cash debit, bank credit 500. Entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. So let's see what is our next entry. Entry number 15 having two elements, but only one element will go to cash book, and that is cash, which is credited by 1000. Go to the credit side of cash and write 1000 over here. Now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side of cash? It is purchase. So write down buy purchase in particular column and see the date, which is 15. So write down 15 in date column. 15th entry was having only one element, that was cash, and it has been posted. Entry number 15 completed. Mark it as it has been done. Now we are at entry number 17, where there are three elements, but only two elements we are associated with, that is bank and discount. So we will post step by step. First step is to see bank. Bank is credited 1080. Bank is credit, so you are going to write 1080 on credit side. Now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side? Amir. Come here in the particulars and write by Amir, and now see the date, which is 17. So put 17 in date column. 17th entry was having two elements, bank has been posted. Now discount. Here please give your attention for discount and bank. Reference is same and date is same, so you will choose the same row. Discount is credited by 120. Go to the credit side of discount and write down 120. It was another option for you that you can write 120 over here in the next line and write by Amir and 17 again. But since reference of 1080 and 120 was same, which was Amir, date was same, so you have chosen the same row to write discount over here. There were two elements, bank and discount in our entry. Bank and discount both have been posted. Entry is completed. Mark 17th entry as it has been done. Next is 18th entry, where there are three elements, but we are associated with only two elements, which are cash and discount. So we will post step by step. First step is to see cash. Cash is debited 480. You will go to the debit side of the cash, will write 480 over here. Now see the reference. What is written on the opposite side? That is Salim. So you will be writing Salim's name in particular. Seek the date, which is 18. Put 18 in the date column. In this way, half of the entry is completed. Cash and discount were supposed to be posted in cash book. Cash has already been posted. Next element is discount, which is debited by 20. But at this time, I would like to explain for cash and discount. Reference is same, date is same, so you can choose the same line. Discount is debited by 20. Go to the debit side and write down 20. Here what I was saying, you can write 20 over here in the next row as well. It was another option. For that you will repeat 2 slim here again and 18 here again. But since 480 and 20 were having the same reference, same date, so we have used the same row. 20 and 480 cash was in entry number 18. We have posted cash and discount 480 and 20. That means entry has been completed. Mark it as it has been done. Then we have entry number 20, where there are two elements, but only one element is related to cash book. That is cash. Cash is credited by 100. Go to the credit side and write down 100 in cash column. Now see its reference. What is written on the opposite side of cash? That is insurance. Come here and write insurance in particular column. Now see its date, which is 20. Post 20 in date column. In 20 there was only one element, that was 100, and we have posted 100. It means entry has been completed. Mark entry number 20 as completed. Now at 25 we have three elements, but only two elements are associated with cash book. First is cash, which is credited by 480. Go to the credit side of the cash and write down 480 over here, and see the reference. What is reference? That is cream. So you are going to write cream over here with an additional word of buy. See the date, which is 25. Post 25 over here. Long questions are normally considered boring, but believe me, I'm just enjoying the long questions. 25th entry was having two element. Cash is posted 480. All right, and now you are needed to post next, which is discount. Discount is credited by 40. Go to the credit side of discount and write down 40 over here. Now you may ask why we are writing 40 over here. That line was fixed for the cash amount, as in our journal entry cream was the reference, which is a common reference for cash and discount. So since reference is same, date is same, so you can write in the same row. It was also possible to write 40 over here. Then you were supposed to repeat cream over here, 25 over here. But since reference of 480 and 40 is same, cream, and date is same, 25, that is why you have chosen the same row. 25th entry was having two elements, cash and discount. Both has been posted. 25th entry is completed. Now mark it as it has been done. 29th entry is having two elements, but both elements are not associated with the cash book, as in cash book we do write discount, cash and bank, and three elements. Out of those three elements, nothing is present over here, so skip it, leave it, and jump to the 30th entry. It means 29th entry is automatically been completed. Mark it as it has been done. 30th entry we are needed to post in cash book, but amount is not present. For this, what we have decided, we will write here, come again, we will repeat it. It has been said that amount which is more than 490, write down that additional amount in entry number 30. Let's read it again. Here we have the transaction: deposited cash in excess of 490. These are important points in the transaction. We are needed to deposit amount which is more than 490. For that, what we'll have to do, we'll have to see how much cash is present in our hands, and for that purpose we will sum up all cash on debit side, we will sum up all cash in credit side. Debit will show amount we have totally received, credit side will show amount what we have paid. The amount which we have received at one place, we will subtract amount paid from cash received. So what we will have, cash in hand, and we will see how much cash in hand we do have, and we will compare with 490. Amount more than 490 will be written over here where question mark is written. Now let's start this process. It's really interesting. We will sum up credit side first. What I have said, we will sum up all the amounts present on debit side first. This is our first step to see how much amount we have received. I will take help from Excel and what I will do, I will sum all the amounts present on debit side. So you will write 4,000 plus 5,000 plus 290 plus 500 plus 480. So I will just ask Excel to add all the amounts present over here. This is sum of debit side showing how much total cash we have received is 10,270. Now go to the credit side of the cash. This is credit side of the cash, and calculate the sum of credit side. What you will do, you will write all the amounts in credit side on credit side, and I am just taking help from Excel and asking Excel to sum up all the amounts present on credit side. Here we have the total of credit side. Now you do understand this is total amount received. Out of this 4780 have been paid out. How much cash would be still in hand? Again, I am telling the same thing. This is the total cash you have received. Out of this total cash, you have paid 4780. The difference of these two amounts would be the amount of cash in hand. So here we have 5490 and it was said to deposit amount more than 490. How much amount is more than 490? Our cash in hand is 5490, and to know the amount more than 490 we will subtract 490 from cash in hand. So we have got that 5000 is the amount which is more than 490. Come to the question again. We were asked to deposit cash in excess of 490. For that, what we have done, we have summed up all amount received and we have summed up all amount which we have paid. Amount paid was the sum of credit side, amount received was the sum of debit side. So what we have done, it was the total amount which we have received, out of which this amount was paid. We have subtracted and come to know that this amount is still in our hands. And now we were supposed to see how much amount is more than 490. So what we have done, we have subtracted 490 out of total cash in hand, and thus we have got 5000, which is actually the amount which is more than 490. So here is the time when we will replace question mark with 5000. 5000 is the amount which is more than 490. So same amount we are supposed to write on credit side. This way your last entry has been completed, and since it's not marked as done, it is still to be posted in cash book. Here in 30th entry there are two elements and both elements are associated with cash book. So we will post both elements step by step. First step is to see bank, which is debited by 5000. Go to the debit side and write down 5000 in bank column. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of the bank? That is cash. So you are going to write cash in particular column. Now see its date, which is 30. Post 30 over here. Okay, 30th entry was having two elements, bank and cash. Bank has been posted. Now cash, which is credited, go to the credit side of the cash and write down 5000. Now see its reference. What is written on opposite side of cash? Bank. So write down here bank with an additional word of buy. Now see its date, which was 30. So post 30 in the date column. This way your all entries present in journal has been completed. So step by step we have taken all journal entries, and you can see that, one second, our claim was getting wrong because last entry is not marked as it has been done. So here you can see now we can claim that all entries are giving green signal and we have posted them in our cash book. So cash book posting is completed. Here is the time to create the usable information. First usable information is to see how much cash is still in hand, and second usable information is how much amount is present in your bank account. Means cash balance and bank balance you are needed to know. For this, what you will do, you will sum up all amounts present on debit side of the cash, and you will sum up all the amounts present on credit side of the cash book, which we have already done, except for one entry 5000, and 5000 has already been added as formula was applied upon here. But what you will do, you will calculate again sum, and you will write on your calculator 1200 plus 2000 plus 1000 plus 100 plus 480 plus 5000, and then you will get the total as 9780. This is showing credit side, mean cash paid, and this is showing debit side, that means cash received. So what you will do, you will subtract total cash paid out of total cash received, you will get cash in hand. But for that purpose there are some technical steps, and you will have to follow those technical steps. But ultimately what you will be willing to do is just you will subtract 9780 out of 10,270. So for this there is first step, sum of both sides debit and credit, which we have already done. Step number 2, compare these two amounts, 10,000 and 9,000. Which is larger amount? This is 10,000. Write down at total of debit side of the cash 10,270. Okay, this was the larger total, and you are needed to write same larger total on credit side as well. Here you will be having an objection. You will say sum of all amounts present on credit side is 970. How would we have written 10,270? So what was the answer? There are technical steps you will have to follow in the same manner. Now here you will calculate the balance, and that balance is cash in hand. So what method we have decided? You will subtract cash paid out of cash received, and cash paid is on credit side, cash received is on debit side. The total of debit side is 270, which we have mentioned on credit side as well. So this is the total of debit side, which was larger total, and we are subtracting total of credit side, means cash paid. So in other meanings, what you have said, cash paid is subtracted from cash received. This way you have got your balance, and this is your cash in hand. And you will write here by balance. Cash balance is completed. Anyone who wants to understand it once more, I will repeat this same procedure for the bank account as well. What was the first step? Sum all the amounts present on debit side of the bank. So on calculator, what you will do, you will write 2,000 plus 2,000 plus 2,000 plus 5,000, and all amounts present on debit side you will sum up. And now you will be needed to see its total, and that total is 11,000. 6 and 5, 11,000 is total of debit side, and same you will do for your credit side. There you will sum up all the amounts present on credit side of bank column, 6,400, 500, 1,080. So you will sum all amounts present on credit side. I have taken help from Excel. So Excel have given me the total of credit side 980, and total of debit side is 11,000. 11,000 debit side of bank is showing how much amount was deposited into the bank, and credit side of the bank is showing how much amount have withdrawn. So how much amount is still present in bank? For that you will subtract this amount withdrawn from amount deposited. This way you will get the amount which is still present in your bank account. But for that you will have to follow some technical steps, same as what we have done for cash. You have total of debit side 11,000, total of credit side 7,000. Now make comparison, which is larger amount is 11,000. So you will post at total of debit side of the bank 11,000, and similarly you will write the same larger amount on total of credit side of the bank. Larger total is 11,000. There will be an objection. Total of credit side of bank column was 7,980, and we have written 11,000. This is methodology of balancing, and you will have to follow the same technical step. Now what was the purpose of making bank account? You wanted to know how much amount is still present in your bank account. For that purpose, what you will do, amount deposited, total of debit side 11,000, and you will subtract amount withdrawn from the bank. You will subtract amount withdrawn from the bank from amount deposited. So then you will come to know that 3,020 is not withdrawn, it is still present in your bank account. This is bank balance. You will write the same balance in particular column in wordings. Now you have cash balance. This is usable information. That means total cash we do have still in hand is 490, and total balance or amount present in bank account is 3,020. These are the answers, and hopefully answers are given in the book. Yes, answers are given. And first answer you can see is cash in hand 490. And our answer of cash in hand is 490 because it is balance of cash. Cash balance 490. Okay, it's correct. And second answer is bank balance as per bank, that is 3020. So our bank balance is also 320. It means our answers are correct. So it means all journal entries which you have posted, these many journal entries you have written over here, all entries are correct. And when these journal entries are posted in cash book, all postings are correct without any interference, without any correction, without any rectification, without any reconciliation. All amounts were posted correct. How do you know this? Because your answers are compared with the book answer and answers are correct. So thankfully our question has been completed. All journal entries are posted into the ledger. Last time you are needed to review, kindly see all journal entries are marked and say yes. All journal entries are posted, say yes. Balance is checked, yes. So you must have this habit of reviewing the question. Even if you think it is completed, just review again so that you can be satisfied that there is no problem in the question. We have solved question number 4 from different writer, and hopefully you have understood. If you have any query, you may ask any question through messages, text, through WhatsApp, or you can meet me directly as well, and you can put your queries. Now question 4 has been solved, and surely we will meet again for the solution of any of other question inshallah in future. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. Permit me. Allah Hafiz.